Now that you know all about pfSense and its features, let's install pfSense on a virtual machine. First and foremost, you need to download the installer files for pfSense. To download pfSense, navigate to pfSense.org/download. pfSense supports multiple platforms and flavors. It also has various editions and versions available. For best results, always use the stable version. And of course, unless you intend to purchase the supported version, opt for the free community edition. That is exactly what we're going to do here as well. From the In the File Type dropdown, select Install. This will ensure that you get files for fresh installation. The other option is to upgrade an existing installation of pfSense. The architecture specifies the target CPU architecture you intend to use. Select the option depending on your computer. If your system has a 64-bit capable Intel or AMD CPU, use the 64-bit version. 32-bit should only be used with 32-bit CPUs. For this demo, we will pick AMD 64-bit. pfSense also supports multiple types of installer options. You can download the installer as a USB memstick, ISO CD image, and embedded nano BSD image. The USB memory stick image is meant to be written to the hard disk of your target system. Installing pfSense on the hard drive is the preferred method of running pfSense software. In this case, the entire hard drive is overwritten. And please note, dual booting with another OS is not supported. The CD image ISO installer is used to create a CD or DVD version used to install on virtual machines or systems with a CD or DVD drive. The embedded version of pfSense is meant to be written to system hard disk before use and is specifically tailored for use with any hardware using flash memory, mostly compact flash, rather than the system hard drive. As you may be aware, flash memory can only handle a limited number of writes, so the embedded version runs read-only from flash, with read-write file systems as RAM disks. The Nano BSD platform has two OS slices and a config slice. One OS slice is used to boot from, the other is used for upgrades, and the config slice is where the configuration resides. There are two variations of the Nano BSD platform, the default version, which uses a serial console, and another that supports using a VGA console. Each of those variations also comes sized for different sizes of storage media. For this demo, in the platform drop-down list, select ISO installer. In the mirror drop-down, select the nearest location to you and then click the download button. Mirror sites are useful when the original site generates too much traffic for a single server to support. Mirror sites also increase the speed with which files or websites can be accessed. Users can download files more quickly from a server that is geographically closer to them. In this case, we are going to select New York City. After selecting these options, let's click on the download button to get the required installer files. After the download is complete, let's go to the download folder and locate the pfSense installer file. Here it is. As you can see, this installer file is a zipped compressed format. You can unarchive this file using any usual compression utility like WinZip or WinRAR on Windows and other similar programs on other platforms. Okay, there we go. Now the ISO file has been extracted. You can either burn this ISO to a CD, which will be a bootable CD, and you can use that bootable CD to install the software on your PC. That is, if you are using a physical hardware device. Or you can use the ISO file to create a virtual machine. By the way, you can also run pfSense in live CD mode, where you can just run the pfSense software from the CD without installing anything on your system hard drive. The benefit here is that you can test drive pfSense without changing any configuration on your system. But the drawback is that you will lose all your configuration once your system restarts. So for now, in this demo, we will stick with permanent installation of pfSense on a virtual machine. Let's go ahead and launch a new virtual machine now for pfSense. In this demo, we will use VMware for hosting the virtual machine, but you are free to use any other virtualization platform like VirtualBox, Hyper-V, and so on. Now, we have launched VMware Workstation, so let's launch a new virtual machine here. To create a virtual machine, click File and click New Virtual Machine. A new virtual machine wizard launches, which will walk you through the process of creating and launching a new virtual machine. Let's go through the steps now. Here you can use a typical configuration or more advanced configuration with more options. Let's keep things simple and stick with the typical option. Click Next to begin the wizard. On this screen, you get a few options to install the operating system. You can load the operating system from a CD or a disk image. The default option, though, is just to keep moving forward with the virtual machine creation and install the operating system later. Let's accept the default value and click Next. Now, even though we selected Install the operating system later, you do need to inform VMware what kind of operating system you intend to install eventually. A new virtual machine is like a physical computer with a blank hard disk. Before you can use it, you need to partition and format the virtual disk and install an operating system. So here, VMware is asking you for the intended operating system so that it can prepare the virtual machine accordingly. Since pfSense is based on FreeBSD, let's pick a compatible system. Select the Other Radio button, and for version, select FreeBSD 64-bit as you are going to install a 64-bit pfSense. Click Next. In the next step, you are given an opportunity to name your virtual machine and set the location of the virtual hard disk. Accept the default name, and then you can select the file location where you want to install the software. Click Next. In this next step, you need to allocate storage to your virtual machine. Make sure you select the option to store the virtual disk in a single file. Increase the maximum disk size to 30 gigabytes. Obviously, please do make sure you have enough disk space on your host system to accommodate this allocation. And now click Next. Here you can review all the settings you specified for this virtual machine. And once you're satisfied, click Finish. The virtual machine has been created.